Ugh, really? Is this all the money you have? Yes! That's all I got because I'm broke. I'm fucking broke. Truffle, take it easy. Consulting firms just like rage baiting people. Shut the fuck up, bagpipe. Everything is so freaking expensive for no reason. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Okay, what's going on, guys? I think Truffle really captured the feeling of college consulting services, especially how expensive that shit really gets. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I recently stumbled upon this Reddit post where someone's parents spent 35 grand on consulting, only for their parents to start crashing out over the very purchase that they made, which I don't fucking understand, man. But it's actually kind of shameless. But let me just read it to you, okay? Uh, my family spent 35 grand on a college advisor, and now want me to transfer. The pressure is insane. TLDRC title. I didn't know what I wanted to do in high school, so my parents hired a college admissions consultant for a significant amount of money early sophomore year of high school. Fortunately, she was honest and never wrote essays for me or anything. Just helped me brainstorm, edit, and plan for the perspective of someone who knows the admissions process. She did help me figure out what I was interested in, or so I thought. Plan my classes, ECs, SATs, essays, etc. Okay, so I'm actually starting to understand why this costs 35 grand now, but hear me out, hear me out. Some services cost more than others because they're happening on a retainer basis, which essentially means they're doing something for a long period of time because it's a recurring service. So, for example, if you look at like extracurriculars, right, the consultant's probably helping the student develop a blueprint for what the activities look like, especially for like their major, right? They're probably guiding them through the process of making something like a passion project and showing them like how to scale that shit, right? So, for example, if someone were, like working at an hourly rate, let's just say, for example, like $175, right? And they built like a monetized website that gained viewers or followers via blog articles and search engine optimized posts. They're probably doing that shit for like what, 2 hours a week, helping them guide through like essentially how to do that for like 3 to 5 months, something like that, right? And you got to just do the math to see that the passion project that I'm talking about would probably cost something like 4.5, 7.5 grand or something, right? Then you got to account for other shit like SAT advising, guidance for finding a career, like researching which colleges would probably fit their preferences, right? Bam, you're broke. That's not even considering the essays, right? So, I don't know. It's not always the case that it's going to be like that, but that's what I'm assuming is the reason why this is all costing 35 grand, right? It's just like a amalgamation of like a bunch of stuff. I tried really hard to make the most of her help and my parents' investment. But in the end, I was only admitted to a few large public schools that I expected and a few T30 privates. NYU Stern, USC Marshall, CMU. Bro, Stern, Marshall, and Carnegie Mellon are pretty fucking good. By the way, this is something I think people kind of forget about top students who are super smart. But like, if you took like the giga smart kids, they're usually going to get rejected by a handful of schools. Usually, if you're a top student, you're going to get rejected by like a lot of schools and then accepted into about like 1 to 2 schools. And that's why you got a shotgun. It's got a good spread. Even if you get rejected by a good number of schools, right? You hopefully still end up having like a small selection that you could still pick and choose from. That's, that's the way to go, man. It's got a good spread. I got rejected by almost all the Ivies, Stanford, Duke, Northwestern, Chicago, and even Mich and UVA. Yeah, makes sense, right? Given the financial outlay, my parents weren't pleased, even though I was pretty happy with Stern and Marshall. Man, I'd be happy with Stern too, bro. Especially if I were going for that sweet, sweet investment banking syrup. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still gonna choose Marshall though, because even if the attitude at USC can be a bit bad, I don't want to live in a 10th world country like like New York. I'm at Stern right now, and while it's not an Ivy, it has a great track record for banking. Obviously, good, good. The only thing I'm realizing is I hate banking. Sucks, man. And I was chasing clout. I might still try to transfer, although undecided right now. But don't think this is the right place for me. Yeah. That's what really sucks. It's just when you're not so passionate about going all in on banking because you're just going after that syrup. Uh, Especially you invested all that money into college consulting. So you're just like, oh my God, like, should I really do it? Right. But continuing, my parents, on the other hand, can't let it go. They keep saying I didn't take full advantage of my counselor and that they deserve their money back or some of it back. They've started saying stuff like work hard so you can transfer out, as if my school is some kind of punishment. I tried to explain that transfer rates are insanely low, but they just said that doesn't mean it's impossible for you. I feel like this I feel like part of this is Asian parents wanting prestige within their friend circles. I'm sure others relate. So a lot of these consulting firms don't really provide refunds, by the way, because like the service is in providing you consulting and advising, like the sessions essentially, right? Like so, it would be like one day on a Monday or one day on a Thursday, right? It's like individual sessions. So some places provide guaranteed admissions into top Ivy League schools, but that doesn't exist. People fall for it all the time though, because they're always chasing that prestige. So I totally get it. I'm feeling trapped between having to do finance or appease my parents. I actually do want to transfer, but now, because I hate finance culture, I'm realizing that. But I'm feeling pressure from them also that I don't need right now. That said, I do feel kind of guilty they spent 35 grand. We're well off. Dad is a management consultant and mom is a doctor, but they are still obsessed about decisions 9 months later. They still email my counselor, holy shit, still email my counselor regularly, asking what went wrong and how I can transfer later. Now they are searching for transfer advisors behind my back. Oh my God, behind your back. This is the worst part. Usually, if you have a bad consultant or a bad college maxing parent or both, you could just run away. But the worst part is when parents spend money on your business behind your back and make you feel guilty about the money that they paid. Okay, also, this post is almost over, so I'm just going to read the rest of it in one go and then probably just give some advice, okay? Being the oldest doesn't help either. My younger siblings have always looked up to me, and my parents reminded me of that a lot. A lot of Asian parents have unspoken expectations about getting into top tier schools, but paying for a counselor made that expectation really clear. They are okay with Stern, but upset about the results and the precedent it sets for my siblings. I tried to bring up how I'm not sure now about banking and the culture. That's where this all came up again last month, and how I need to transfer out, and how it's such a shame. I honestly don't even know what to do because banking just feels so toxic. They spent so much money, and I'm not even sure what I want to do anymore. I just feel like I can't be a banker and devote my life to making money only. At the same time, transferring now feels like the whole process all over again, with my parents forcing me to do it. Sorry for oversharing. This is just my rant vent post and not sure how to process it. I've been dwelling on it for the last 3 weeks and not sure where to start and if I can do this transfer thing without feeling like they're forcing me into doing it. All right, so I Bagpipe, the one stop shop for college app slop, who, for a fraction of the price, by the way, has helped students get accepted into top schools such as, but not limited to, Harvard, Princeton, Duke, Cornell, Dyson, Penn, Wharton, NYU, Stern, Dartmouth, U Chicago, Econ, Stanford, and UC Berkeley, will finally give some advice. You got to tell your family that you appreciate them, right? Right? You tell them that, all right? All right? And run away. Oh, wait, actually, that's that's right. They're gonna pay for a consultant behind your back and pin the guilt on you. So you're fucked. On a serious note, though, I'm gonna recommend a few things. So the first thing I think I would really recommend you do is negotiate what you want with family as soon as possible. Okay, so I realize this, like with Asian parents especially, is gonna be really freaking hard, but you got to bear with me for a sec. Try closing your eyes, okay? Imagine what your life would be like if you continued following what only they want for 5 years, 10 years, then 15. Ugh. Yeah, you're like mid 30s and you haven't fulfilled a single personal goal or passion because you lived your life the way that your parents force you to live. That's like a terrible freaking life, man. Now, I think that this is a conversation that has to be had with family because it's going to be hard because I know for a fact that parents like to dance around the problem, especially Asian parents. It's usually going to be something like, oh, let's not talk about the uncomfortable stuff, right? Don't worry about it. We'll just figure it out by ourselves, right? And then that essentially becomes them making a decision on your behalf without your permission. Like, hey, buddy, we spent 50 grand to solve this problem you had. So they could just like hold that shit over your head, like all that manipulative shit. And you want to say no, but you can't really say that because they already spent the money, and you're gonna sound like super ungrateful if you like refuse, right? So you just kind of like awkwardly go with it. Like it's best to avoid that by establishing very clear cut boundaries about what you want in life. And I'm honestly just not gonna lie, right? Like you just have to establish boundaries with like your strict controlling parents. Like, it's gonna be hard, all right, but like you actually really have to enforce it because like I know people are gonna be responding with jokes like, "Dang, boundaries in my family, we get the chancla," or "Wow, establishing boundaries for Asians, we just get the bell." As like a way of like subtly implying that boundaries are just like soft parenting. And man, like I'm not gonna lie, right? Like these people are fucking retarded, okay? Like just actually fucking lobotomized. I hear this shit all the time from like comedians and content creators making light of their insane parents not respecting their boundaries and whatnot when they were like little. And they just like try to pass it off as like a joke, right? Like, oh yeah, when I didn't get straight A's, like my parents sent me to sleep in the streets where it's snowing. They're so strict and feisty, like teehee. Gotta love Asian culture. It's so funny, right? Like no, it's fucking backwards. Like why the fuck am I expected to just respect that part of your backwards culture anyway, right? Like it's actually like I've actually honestly hated that as like an instructor so much, man. It was like the most entitled shit ever that like I was expected to be the one to like have to actually acquiesce to that insane part of your culture. Like but the other reason I'm bringing this up is cuz one way or another the conversation of what you want in life versus what they want for your life will happen. It can either be a super uncomfortable fight leading to a strained relationship in your 20s or a full blown nuke and sense of existential dread in your 40s. You're going to need to establish independence at some point in your life, right? Like you can't come to like right like you can't come to a civilized conclusion in like one day, right? Like that's going to be fine, but you got to figure it out and not just avoid the problem forever because they can't just control where you live or what your marriage looks like or worse, right? Like how you treat your kids, right? At some point, your boundaries have to be drawn. I repeat, at some point, your boundaries have to be drawn. I don't care if it goes against their culture. So next one is going to be quality of life over prestige. Your quality of life is going to be significantly more important the older you get, more so than prestige. Very much so. And I think when you're young, especially under the ages of 35, prestige is going to hold a lot more sway. But the older you get, the more a lacking in quality of life is going to start having like a major tax on your life. You're going to also start to tolerate less bullshit that gets in the way of said quality of life. And that time comes a lot faster than you think. In fact, I usually find that quality of life, even in like mid to late 20s, actually starts to become the new prestige. Like, yeah, sure, being the person who makes six figures and has a nice car is nice, but like things like having a chill job that pays decently and gives you good time off for travel, allows you to work remotely, right? Like, well, it's like way better and significantly more coveted the older you get. And I think you have to remember that in a world like investment banking, you're going to be working all the time. And I'm not saying there's no time and place for prestige, right? Like it could be helpful, sure. But beyond getting careers in finance or impressing others, you have to think about what else you want in life and how precisely you're going to achieve that. Oh, I'm just going to do my passion on the side. Like, really? Passion on the side with the hours you'll be doing in this career, right? I could just put on the golden handcuffs on temporarily and then quit. Like, are you sure? Golden handcuffs are tempting and letting go isn't so easy. So I think it's going to be really important for a lot of people to actually plan out and map a path toward a solid quality of life over time. If you're just riding the waves, you're going to be sorely disappointed. I put this in my other video about choosing a college major, which you can check out here. But generally speaking, you don't actually need a crazy amount of doubloons to actually be happy. Ideally, earn enough, then know when to stop actually like playing the money game and just prioritize other elements of having a good quality of life, man. Right? So, yeah, don't ride the regret mill. The regret mill is like a treadmill, but like with regret. Yeah, like super creative. Parents will usually pass this mindset on to their kids because they have grievances over past mistakes and they can't actually live in the present or think in the future because they're so worked up about the past. Make mistake, catastrophize about mistake, lose out on opportunities because they're too busy catastrophizing about said past mistakes, make mistake again. Catastrophize about mistake. Again, rinse and repeat. Try not to get in that headspace, even if your parents are in it, because that shit happens all the time with things, not just including career, right? You should have started your retirement savings early. You should have had a skincare routine early. You should have worked out early, right? Like, now you can only be kind of wealthy and kind of okayish skin and kind of skinny fat, right? But it's like way better than broke and leathery and nikocado, right? Like, so but uh, be forward facing, because the more time you spend catastrophizing about the dumb financial decisions, the less you could start actually making positive changes today. All right. I hope that helps, guys. I also realized that I was a little more harsh and blunt than I usually am in this video, because especially regarding setting boundaries with like crazy ass fucking parents. But I really do think that, like, if you're looking at this from my perspective, like, you have to at some point in life, right, have an obligation to do that for yourself. Like, imagine you regret breaking it off with the one who would be like the love of your life, right? All because your parents thought that, like, I don't know, they were traditional Christian Koreans, and she was neither Christian nor Korean enough or something, right? Like, that's actually like so fucked, man, right? So I'd be so rage baited. Anyway, if you guys need anything like college consulting or advising, feel free to reach out via email in the description box below. If you're asking for a service that costs like 10 quintillion doubloons or some shit like that, I wish I could take your money, but I want to be able to sleep at night without a guilty conscience. But yeah, hope that's I just hope that helps. All right, that's about it. See ya.